Wishing you all a very happy New Year, friends. Do you agree that we can gain so much by observing and understanding nature's patterns? If you can get yourself out in nature, there are incredible lessons you can learn. Take birds, for example. Birds have inspired not only writers, poets, artists, musicians, and movie makers, but scientists and innovators as well. What life lessons can we learn from these small but mighty creatures? Recently, I took a trip to the Jurong Bird Park in Singapore, and I was fascinated by what I saw there. You may be amazed to know that it is Asia's largest bird park that's been home to 3,500 birds across 400 species. As I explored the world of avians, I thought of sharing a few key lessons that one can learn by observing these birds. Wouldn't you be amazed to know that birds are actually living, surviving dinosaurs? I'm sure many of you have watched Jurassic Park. The story of the disappearance of dinosaurs is a famous one. 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid collided with Earth, and due to that impact, the dominant animal group at the time, the huge dinosaurs, went extinct. Well, not all of them actually. There was one peculiar type of dinosaurs which made it through the catastrophe. We know the current descendants of these dinosaurs as birds. Over the next 66 million years, birds evolved from a group of meat-eating dinosaurs called theropods in many different ways, which enabled them to survive in lots of different habitats. But with such a close relationship to the extinct dinosaurs, why did birds survive? They were able to survive because birds evolved and adapted to the environmental changes. The recent COVID crisis tested our adaptability skills. The most successful organizations quickly adapted to new working styles, the new norm, working from home, Zoom meetings, and so on. They initiated many other changes in the workplace. Failure to adapt is the root cause of human failures. In order to grow and to be successful in our lives, we also need to change and adapt as per the situation. Change is a natural part of life. Therefore, adaptability is a crucial skill. When we accept that nothing stays the same forever, it gives us room to look for new opportunities to grow personally and professionally. There is a lot to learn from birds when it comes to teamwork. Birds flock together and stay together to undertake the long and hazardous journey to other continents. No bird is foolish enough to imagine that it can fly solo to reach distant lands. They fly together, as flying together increases their chances of survival. Birds seek strength and sustenance from one another. As they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. Bird flying in V formation is a great example of teamwork. There are reasons migratory birds might fly in a V formation. First, it conserves their energy. Each bird flies slightly above the bird in front of them, resulting in a reduction of wind resistance. The birds take turns being in the front, falling back when they get tired. In this way, the birds can fly for a long time before they must stop for rest. It is also easy to keep track of every bird in the group. The V formation provides the birds with good visual contact of each other to keep the flock together and also communicate easily. This demonstrates how teamwork plays a very important and useful role in nature. We need to not only work together, but support each other to achieve a common goal. Also, working as a team, encouraging and supporting each other lets us accomplish amazing goals with much less effort. There are many leadership lessons we can learn from birds. Have you heard of the phrase bird's eye view? It describes a view that is seen as a bird might see it, from an elevated perspective. The phrase can also be used in a more figurative sense when someone steps back and looks at the entire situation from a more distant perspective. Birds can view an object from great heights and wide angles. They have keen eyesight and they pay attention to details. For a leader, decision making is a key element of the success, and it needs to be taken after considering all the options by taking bird's eye view of the problem at hand. If you talk about a person's eagle eye, you mean that they are watching someone or something carefully or are very good at noticing things. A leader has to be like an eagle, a sharp vision and one who maintains keen watchfulness. Just like an eagle, once you spot the opportunity, you should go all out to chase and get it. Leaders must develop situational awareness, meaning being aware of what's going on around them, so that they can anticipate things happening and take action. They must practice unilateral eye closure similar to birds, in which one eye closes, permitting half of the brain to sleep. This involves opening one eye intermittently and keeping half of the brain active to monitor their surroundings. By the way, when you're very successful in your career, you are called a high flyer, just like a bird. Bird migration is a great example of how resilience can help overcome enormous challenges in life. We must learn to embrace uncertainty just like birds do. Nothing terrifies humans than uncertainty. Little do we realize that it is impossible to plan for every eventuality in life. Birds face an existential crisis in winter. The harsh climate poses a serious threat to their lives. Food becomes scarce. They trust their instincts and take a leap of faith and fly thousands of miles across continents to find temporary homes. Birds do not feel constrained by fears of incapability. They don't even think of failure. They just take off. Remember, our mental limits are self-imposed. We must think beyond boundaries. Early in my career, a colleague of mine, probably irritated by my constant whistling and singing in the toilet, couldn't resist himself asking, "Sandeep, you're very happy, always singing, always whistling." I realized that day, singing denotes happiness. Don't worry, be happy. A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. If you really have to learn something from birds, learn to be cheerful. Start your day with a song, irrespective of your status. As they go about their day, no matter their circumstance, they always produce their songs. In fact, in many cultures, they are the symbol of happiness. Even birds in cages, they produce the most beautiful music. We are often unhappy at work for various reasons. Being happy is something that each of us determines. It's not something that you find outside of yourself. It is within us and our choice. It is never the situation that determines our happiness. All that matters is whether or not you actually choose to be happy. Can la, can also can, cannot also can. That's our Singapore way of saying we can do it. Look at the small island nation, which is one of the most successful countries in the world. It's because of this can attitude. A bird sitting in a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because its trust is not on the branch but on its own wings. Always believe in yourself. If you trust your capabilities and strengths, you would be able to handle and overcome all tough situations. One of the greatest barriers to success is fear of failure, as it prevents you from moving forward. You should observe the chicks learning to fly. They fall once, twice, thrice. Eventually they fly. It's not easy to go through life without experiencing some kind of failure. Failures help us to discover our strengths and help us grow. No success can be achieved without conquering failures. Fear of failure will always be there, but you have to take that leap of faith. Every morning I wake up with the sounds of birds chirping. Have you ever found a bird sleeping late in its nest? Birds wake up pretty early in the morning, very early, and welcome the sun with beautiful songs and start their routine with positive energy. There is a lot to learn from this. This is a trait shared by successful people too. They are usually early risers and start their day when others are still sleeping in their beds. In fact, rising early has its own advantages. Besides being happier, healthier, and more productive with less distractions, you are also aligned to the natural rhythms of the earth. Early birds always have advantages, be it a discount, a goodie, or a better seat. So, better be early. You know what? It's very easy to call it quits. I'm leaving. It's not working. You have heard of the Great Resignation? A phenomenon that describes record numbers of people leaving their jobs. Well, we have to learn from birds how to stay in a relationship. The World Wildlife Foundation found that around 90% of bird species choose monogamy as their reproductive strategy. This is a huge number compared to mammals at just 5%. Several species of birds practice monogamy. These species pair for at least the length of the breeding season, or in some cases for several years or until the death of one mate. This speaks volumes about their commitment to a relationship. Shock! That's how we say great in Singapore. When I look at these beautiful and colorful birds, I wonder, how could anyone exercise such poise and perfect balance? The poise and balance that we are required to maintain in life is perhaps our greatest test. Aren't you impressed with the graceful and elegant bearing of the birds? Be it the flamingos, the penguins, or for that matter, many other species. The way they carry themselves, balance themselves, and let their colors shine is so pleasing to eyes. How we behave in a controlled and relaxed manner, even in difficult situations, how we create an aura with our posture, how we present ourselves to an audience, be it an interview, a presentation, or a client meeting, how we keep our composure during high-pressure situations is something that we can learn from birds. Be confident and don't be afraid to show your true colors. Remember, you are one of a kind. Hope you all enjoyed the presentation on birds. The humble birds can teach us valuable lessons about how to adapt to changing environments and how to overcome challenges through collaboration, how to look good and present ourselves, how to face adversity. While none of us can sprout wings, we can all simply observe and learn from these beautiful creatures on how to create a meaningful life. Since the earliest times of man, birds have inspired our deepest imaginations. Fearless and free in the sky, birds make us wonder, what would be like to fly? Perhaps contemplating the beauty and power and majesty of birds helps us to reach higher and further and achieve greater things.
Do I look dashing? Flamboyant? By the way, a group of flamingos is called flamboyance.